Coming to you live from the Centennial Regional Arena where the playoffs finally get going tonight. I'm Tyler King alongside Nathan Crosby as we get set for Game 1 of the AJHL South Division Quarterfinal. Tonight it's the Brooks Bandits and the Canmore Eagles. Nathan, it's a very unusual scenario for the Brooks Bandits. They're in the first round for the first time in 3 years against a team against whom they went 5-1 in the regular season, a team they swept in the second round a couple of years ago. But as the Canmore Eagles had proven against them last year, 5-game series are weird, even when you're the 2 seed against the 7 seed, and anything can happen. The Bandits are going to have to be on their best game.
Yeah, 2015 was the last time that Brooks has played in a first-round playoff series. That was against the Calgary Mustangs, who are back in the playoffs for the first time. That's in another series that we don't need to talk about today. The Eagles present definitely a challenge for the Bandits in that they did lose that one game back in mid-November to them. A much different Bandit team at that time, granted, but Tyler, I think that this series is very important for the Bandits if they're going to have a lengthy playoff run this season to get these playoffs off on the right foot, and that's why making sure you take care of business against a Canmore team that you can underestimate is very important to start these playoffs.
That said, it's not going to be an easy task to do that in Game 1 because the Bandits are going to be short-staffed. There's the suspension issue. Nick Hamry's gone for the first 3 games of the playoffs. Nolan Thompson and Connor Jean are both out for Game 1. They'll be back for Game 2. And then injury-wise, the Bandits have had a bunch of players in and out of the lineup. We're hoping to see Jacob Lapointe back in tonight. Arnaud Vachon we're not sure about. And overall, this may be a short-staffed roster. Maybe the one advantage from a Brooks perspective is a lot of times this year they've played short a defenseman, short a couple of forwards. It's not actually that unusual a circumstance, but it does mean for Canmore, Game 1 is the key where you have to break through because it's going to be your best chance to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely the tone setter. It's always in any series, but Canmore, if they have an opportunity, it will be in Game 1 with the players that Tyler mentioned not being in the lineup. Definitely the opportunities there. And Canmore does have some offensive weapons in the 2 young brothers, Alex and Colton, who had some really nice seasons with Canmore. But I think the key for the Eagles, if they are going to pull off an upset here, will be their goaltender, Logan Dick. Should Andrew Milne, the head coach, go with him in Game 1? He does have a win against the Bandits this year, and his numbers are pretty good when stacked up against Brooks in the season series. So Dick could be a difference, but you can't forget about the goaltender on the other end, Mitch Benson.
Yeah, I'll get to him in just a sec. Logan Dick, of course, a .931 save percentage against Brooks in the regular season series. And so we said Brooks missing Connor Jean, a guy who had 5 goals in the regular season series, including one of his 3 hat tricks this year. But Canmore's no slouch, Nathan. They have some very talented players. The young brothers, of course, on the forward side. You mentioned Logan Dick there, who's given his team a chance to win pretty much every time he's played against the Brooks Bandits. Canmore is not going to be any slouch here. And again, if anything, when it comes to their veteran players, they're probably still smarting after last year when Olds upset them as the 7 seed. What better way to redeem yourself from that than doing the exact same thing as a 7 seed this year?
Yeah, and hey, anything could happen. We've seen plenty of 7 seeds upset 2 seeds in the past few years in the AJHL. A lot of the times it's the Olds Grizzlies, but last year we saw Canmore, a really good Eagles team, flounder out in the first round. So they're not playing for the same thing the Bandits are this year. I think they're just here to see if they can get some playoff home games in and see if they can build towards next year. But certainly it's still up for grabs in terms of what the Bandits have to accomplish here in this first round. And don't forget, Tyler, they have guys in the lineup tonight that can make a difference, like Mitch Benson in net, Dennis Asana, the captain, who is the league's leading defenseman in points. So it's not like the world is ending that those players aren't in the lineup tonight. It will make a difference, but Brooks still has the depth to get this done. Well,
and that's the thing. A final note has to be about the Bandits goaltender in Mitch Benson, a guy who has elevated his game in the postseason in past, and a guy who, despite being, I was going to say run ragged, but really not, because he didn't show any signs of fatigue over the course of the year, played more minutes than any AJ goalie ever has in the history of this league, and yet got better as the season went on. Based on that, even though you start out in playoffs, you got 4 games in 5 nights repeatedly, Mitch Benson's used to playing a lot of hockey. He's used to coming through in clutch situations in the postseason, and the Bandits are going to need him to be as good as he was last year, if not maybe a little bit better, if they're going to make a run deep into these playoffs this year.
They will, and hey, now the record holder for most minutes played in a single season by a goaltender, definitely had the workload this year, no question about it. You just look at the stats, so you wonder about where his mindset is coming into the playoffs. But looking at him last Friday at that home game against Camrose, he looked his complete normal self. So I have no worries about Mitch Benson heading into these playoffs.
And no worries about a good crowd here in Brooks for games 1 and 2. Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Friday night, 7 o'clock will be game 2 at the CRA. Puck drop scheduled for 7 in game 1, and tickets available at tickets.brooksbandits.ca.